It's the reunion show everybody was waiting for. Last night's Rachel Lindsay, well, she faced her rejected suitors once again on The Bachelorette's Men Tell All special.
There were some pretty intense moments, right? But in my opinion, it should have been called the Kenny and Lee special. Take a look.
I had my opportunity in my conversation with Rachel, and then she pulls me back and says that I pulled Lee out of a van. I'm just like, damn, dude. Like, I know we have to be on this 2-on-1 together, but if you're telling this woman that I pulled you out of a van, do you want me to pull your ass out of a van? Like, yeah. Do you want me to do that?
I want to say something about that. He did not pull me out of the van.
Yeah, no, I know.
Okay.
Well, talk about spilling the tea, boys. Here to break it down, all of the crazy action from last night is former Chicago contestant and winner of season 19, Whitney Bischoff. Whitney, before we get into the Men Tell All special, you were the winner of Chris Soule's season.
Went all the way through.
Right?
Yes.
So what are these guys thinking about, or what's happening behind the scenes that we don't know?
Well, I think that one of the things a lot of people don't know is that filming takes all day. They are there all day. The people in the audience are there all day. They probably tape 5 or 6 hours, and then they just condense it down to the 2 hours that we saw last night.
Are they chatting all day?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah,
yes.
it's pretty interesting, the behind-the-scenes stuff, but we're going to dive right into the Men's Tell All. DeMario, he made an appearance. He came back, and it's making brothers look bad. Let's take a look.
Because Beyonce didn't have physical proof.
She had text messages. I text everybody. Like, you know.
Wait, time out.
No, time in.
Are you telling me you don't know this girl?
No, I know her.
Okay.
I've had, look, like what the weekend say, I only call you when it's 5:30. That's called a side chick, right? You can move me. I'm keeping it real.
What's he doing?
DeMario,
I mean,
stop.
There's
Stop while
keeping
you're
it
ahead.
real, and then there's keeping it real going wrong, and that was going wrong.
That was going way wrong. I mean, he was trying to, I think, sound cool with the pop culture and referring to Beyonce and Rihanna and then Bill Clinton. And I'm thinking, oh my God, please.
Talking about side pieces,
Yes. Stop, DeMario. Stop. We are enough. We're done seeing you.
So you know how they say that the people that are made to look bad on The Bachelor or Bachelorette, it's like, oh, the producers did it. Do you think that people's true colors come out? Like, is DeMario kind of a jerk?
I do think that there's always going to be a villain every season, and I think that there is some production and some edits, but no one's forcing him to say what he's saying.
That's a good point.
So he said it.
All right, well, moving on to the next clip, Kenny and Lee. Chris Harrison made a point to bring up Lee's inappropriate tweets, and the guys gave him some major heat about it, right? Check it out.
Because this is what's been talked about a lot. What's the difference between the NAACP and the KKK? One has a sense of shame to cover their racist-ass faces. And, I mean, just for me to read that out loud makes me feel unbelievably uncomfortable. When you see it now, with your name and picture on it and knowing you did that, how do you feel about it?
I feel like I have a lot to learn.
I mean, it's so contrived.
I mean, yes, you do have a lot to learn,
Do you feel like
Lee.
he's being real, though, Whitney? Like, or do you think he was just saying all the right things and he's going to go back?
Well, he was going around in circles over and over and over again, but that was just definitely a cringeworthy moment, right? And here's the thing that I kept thinking. If you were going to sign up for a show like The Bachelor or The Bachelorette, any sort of bones you've got in your closet are going to be shown. So I felt like going into it, he had to have known that that was going to be exposed.
Sometimes I think people like that don't know that those are actually bones, right?
Yeah, well, that's really
Kinda
sad.
seemed like that,
I know.
yeah.
Now, you wouldn't have been on the Women Tell All because you went so far, but did you have friends that you talked to when it was on the women's side?
Yes.
And were they excited to get in front of Chris and say, you did this, you did that?
Yes, and I thought it was also interesting because I feel like the men, there was a lot more drama than for what a lot of times you see in the Women Tell All.
So petty. So much pettiness.
It really was. And I felt like it was almost like the men tell nothing because nothing actually was said. It was just a lot of nonsense drama.
It was, I know. And I was watching it and I'm thinking, okay, can we move on to the next topic now? I really feel like they focused too much on, you know, the Kenny and Lee thing and all
right,
of
so
that.
my guy who I think is going to be the next Bachelor, we'll see. It's Dean. Dean got a chance to talk to Rachel and find out what happened and maybe, did he get some closure? Take a look.
I kind of feel like your response to me saying that was they were almost words of consolation, to where you wanted me to feel comfortable in that situation by saying what you said, but then that ultimately just led me to being much more heartbroken.
I'm sorry that that's how you feel, but like, if you know me, I never say anything just to say something.
Seems like everybody loves Dean. Like all the guys were like egging him on, cheering him when they talked about him. He seems like he's not only a fan favorite, but a favorite amongst the group.
Yeah, I think that he is, but I just really don't think that he's fit to be the next Bachelor.
I
don't.
completely
Wait, hold on. Why not?
He's 25 years old.
But isn't that interesting? I mean, you've had your first black woman. Like maybe you go now, you skew towards younger. Like maybe you think outside the box. No?
Then I mean, it's not a good track record right now. If they go younger, it's definitely not going to be any better.
Jordan, you talk about when you were 25 all the time. You wouldn't be ready for that, right?
I'd definitely be ready for that. To be the Bachelor with all those women, it would have been like what my life kind of was at 25.
Can you shake your head with me?
I mean, no, you would definitely not have been there for the right reasons. Let's just say that.
Yeah, and using Bachelor speak, not the right reason. I love that. Okay, so let's place our bets. Who do you guys think Rachel will choose and give her final rose to? Whitney, you'll be back next week to give us all the dirty details.
I will.
It's gonna be Eric.
Yep.
It's definitely gonna be
No.
Eric.
Jordan.
I know. It's just
We'll
not.
talk about it. Hey, we got next week. Big thanks to Whitney for sharing her Bachelorette expertise with us. To join in on our thoughts, follow the Jam TV show Monday nights on Facebook, Twitter, and of course, our Instagram story, where we will be going live during commercial breaks.
Yep, and make sure to tune in next week for the finale, where one of these three guys will win the heart of Rachel.
Eric.